Hi everyone. Welcome to the episode 21 of MOV Leaders, a podcast where we celebrate women leaders. This is Cynthia Balasingh, host of the show. Every episode we used to recall about one woman trailblazer. Today we are going to talk about 147 women. Wondering what? Our Indian Army have granted permanent commission for 147 women in SSG office. SSG is an important organization under government who takes care of recruitment for government related departments, ministries, etc. So this is definitely a great opening for a lot of women to come and celebrate themselves, empower themselves, and grow themselves. So great effort, Indian Army, and looking forward for all those 147 women to come excel, multiply them, and scale them to a larger extent. Today's guest is someone very special because today women are always having a challenge in coming to the new age technology field, especially. But she masters in that. She is a senior leader who is great in strategic initiatives, planning, as well as execution. She is great in strategic planning and execution, as well as new product development and learning space. She is the director of curriculum at QMath. Without any further delay, let's welcome Maria Vani to the show.
Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Maria. How are you feeling to be part of MOV Leaders?
Oh, I think it's a pleasure. I'm so happy to be part of this very interesting initiative. And you were just talking about Indian Army and women in Indian Army. That itself is a great feat that they have achieved. And there's only more to come.
Yeah, very true. In all fields, women are upcoming and it's promising. Definitely, leader stories like you will inspire more women to come up and have their way forward, Maria. So you have a very interesting career journey. You have a PhD in information system. Lot of roadmaps. I don't want to mention everything. I wanted to listen from you, right from PhD to currently like director of curriculum in QMath. How would you narrate your story to our audience?
So, Cynthia, it's been a very interesting and challenging journey for me. Uh, like you said, I finished my information systems PhD. Post that, I worked in the field of learning and technology across industries and markets and customers. I was the head of learning at Mu Sigma, which is a data sciences and AI company. And then I worked with Upgrad, which is into higher education. And currently, I'm working with QMath, which is into K 12 education across the globe. So it's been quite enriching. My learning has been immense, intense, and I think I've been very fortunate in the kind of people that I have been able to work with, in the kind of leadership that I've seen as an employee and as a leader myself. So today, if you see that I have now leadership positions that I have fulfilled in the past, it's been because of the way I have been groomed, and of course, there's a lot of hard work behind it. But I think that exposure has done wonders for me, as it would for any other professional.
That's very interesting journey, Maria. One thing in your journey I have noticed is you're into new age digital techniques like ML, AI, digital marketing, right? But the I have quoted this fact earlier also. The top tech companies, five tech companies, if you put tech together, also the women workforce is way lesser, and also women in the leadership position are even more difficult. So we have definitely challenges in the technology space for women. That's understandable. So you in your journey, I could see the one thing is you picked up in a lot of startup culture which lends its way for women, but still there also stats are not so great when you see women in key technology positions. So how did your journey went, and what are the opportunities and challenges you came across, and how did you overcome it, Maria?
So, Cynthia, I'd like to say that I've never approached something with the mindset that, I'm a woman, I should or should not do this. I think if you were to name one word which is keeping women back from doing what they want to do, or becoming leaders, or getting into technology fields, or flying spaceships, whatever, is, I think, the mindset. And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing, because this is generational. This has been there for hundreds of years, where women are conditioned into thinking that this is what you can do, or this is what you cannot do, right? So I think that's where it starts, the mindset, of I am a woman and can I approach this problem. I think we should just shed that gender thing, and we should approach a problem as a problem. So I'm a human being, I have gray matter, and how do I approach this problem, right? Once you start thinking like that, everything else will fall in place. You'll have challenges, you'll have family, you'll have whatever, no other women leader, you will have some people pushing you back. That happens. But if you approach a problem like a very firm and thinking individual, instead of thinking of it as, oh, I'm a woman, so everybody is trying to push me back, so I have to fight for being a woman. No, you think like a professional. I think at the end of the day, organizations will recognize that. If you're valuable to an organization, they wouldn't care if you're a man, woman, or a chair. you know Honestly speaking, that's what matters to organizations, especially in startups, because they're so competitive. They are huge value seekers, even when it comes to resources or leaders or anybody they want in a position. If you're not able to deliver in your position, whether you're a man or a woman, you're gone, right? But having said that, I do appreciate the challenges that women face, right? The first thing is, when, I mean, it's very cliche. So a girl becomes a doctor and a boy becomes an engineer. There you have it, right? So, but one, very interesting thing that has happened is, especially in the newer generation, the 0 to 5 years of, people who work for me or work for other organizations, I see this becoming better. It's not
Hmm.
huge different, but it is better. And girls are not thinking of hindrances and challenges, they're thinking of opportunities. They're very voraciously competitive, and I really like that, because this has to break. This glass ceiling has to break, because like any other field, technology field will also benefit with the women, right? So we've seen, whenever women are given an opportunity, whether it is to be a prime minister of a country, where prime minister of New Zealand, she outclassed every leader in the world, right? Having a baby and having a family and running a country, if she has been able to do it, everybody else will be able to do it. So it's a lot of things, actually. It's not just one thing. It's mindset, it is opportunity, it is environment, something that you are doing, right? So when people see people like you or people like me or other women leaders, it kind of gives them that belief that if they can do it, we can also do it, right? So it will take some inspirational leaders to make other generations believe that being a woman is not a hindrance to your career success, right? So I think that's how I would put it.
Interesting, Maria. So the other thing you touched upon in the whole thing, two things I wanted to go a little bit deeper. One is, as you rightly said, that self-awareness, right? We ourselves need to come out of the mindset and how to grab the opportunity, how to keep our eyes open, and how to come out of the stereotyping and so much there on our hand. But as you rightly said, there is a environmental and societal factors also, which affects, like the way you said, women as doctor or men as engineer or women as housewife or women as a mother, men as a a breadwinner. So much of taglines are attached already. And another important thing is environment. So when you said that as you are a value seeker or when you are a value provider, definitely organization will value irrespective of women or men. Not always true in all the environment. Right? So as you rightly said, that startups, yes, in a competitive environment, it's possible, but in certain way, women will not even get that opportunity to go and show what they are capable of. So, according to you, what do you think workplace has to do to breed the competitive nature in women? Because they are highly competitive and they just need a platform to go and express themselves. So, how do you create that platform, or how the workplace has to lend themselves towards it?
So I think this is a very interesting question, because we see a lot of companies talking about diversity and doing all this stuff. I think more than talking, action would, pave the way for this change to happen. So you actually put women in leadership positions. You actually put women in, technology positions. You give them the opportunity, because sometimes, and this is interesting because, I always think that, equality is actually not going to help. Equity is going to help, you
Correct.
know because there has been so much gap. So generally speaking, when women peak in their career, that's when their family needs them the most. Unfortunately, that's how the biological clock works, right? So you see very few women in the leadership position, because when they actually have to thrive at work, they're busy with their children, they're busy growing families and stuff, and that's also important. I'm not saying that's not important. So what do we do to stop that from happening or help these women, right? So I think organizations can first of all put these women in leadership positions, and I'm not saying putting people who are not capable into those positions, but if a woman requires more mentoring, more guidance, more training, then she should have the right to acquire that, right? And especially leaders who commit to diversity, they should put their personal time in mentoring and invest in these women. And once you do that, and I'm sure that it's been proven by so many women that they will excel, if not more, but at least as much as men, right? So I would say more action and less talk is what is required, because I think women have proved enough that they can be leaders, they can be technology heads, they can lead, Facebooks of the world, and they can lead Pepsis of the world, they can be prime ministers and whatnot, right? And they have done not good only in comparison to other women, they have done good in comparison to every other profession. So if that is the case, then what is stopping us? Like you said, environmental factors are very important, because you need a push. Once you get that push, I think women who are, very hungry for success, they definitely will grab this opportunity and work harder to be, the leaders and technologists that they aspire to be.
Very, very true, Maria. As you rightly said, now in a lot of companies, board is making it mandate to bring in women. In fact, the previous guest shared an interesting fact. Preeti shared an interesting fact that it is a proven thing. If in any team, if we have at least three female members only, the motivation and the production level for the women will be more, because they will see themselves, they will reflect, and they will be gaining confidence to go and open up what they wanted to. So I think companies are now understanding that, and the board is emphasizing that. As you rightly said, maybe it involves more like, okay, I have to conduct 4 diversity events. Okay, I have to hire 50 more women. Okay, I'll hire in any position I get. It's not like a strategic planning that in leadership position we need to acquire this percentage. In technology team, it's not only in a marketing or a HR or a admin profile I'll take people, or in a frontline workers I'll take people, women. Rather, I will lend them to different departments. So these things definitely need a practice or a habit instead of an initiative or a mandate.
Sure.
So amazingly said, Maria. I have a curious question, which I actually, in fact, wanted to ask you after your introduction itself. But now, since we touched upon that also, usually women in tech, the interest they get, as you rightly said, that interest in technology, leading in learning space. You are a person who came with technology and education space, right? Interesting niche areas where women develop their interest. Where it all started for you, Maria? It, incidentally happened, or you planned it?
So I think we always like to think that we plan our lives, but I don't think that happens, right? It's basically a set of environment that you're put into, and then you make the best of what you can, right? Very early on, when I joined the workforce, I was very competitive. Been competitive all my life. I was a very good student. I was a gold medalist at my university, and I always wanted to be the best. That spirit was there in me, always. And especially if somebody or a situation would kind of put me into a position where I would get a pushback, I will press harder. So that's the kind of personality I have. And I think one of the very important trait has been that I've been very brave in whatever I've done in life, right? I have not uh, put myself into any box, right? I can do it or I cannot do it, right? If I want to do something, it will happen, right? And I love this quote, and I'd like to quote that. And it says that if you think you can, or if you think you cannot, you are right, right? So I think that's where it started. And I'm very interested in technology. I absolutely get absorbed by technologies like AI and data science and what they can do, and that all of these have very strong mathematical foundations, which happens to be my favorite subject. So this kind of intrigues me as an individual, challenges me. So for me to be working in any organization, I need that kind of that kind of challenge and that kind of kick, as they say, right? To be in that field. I think that is very important to be in a technology field, that you have to have the drive to excel and learn and relearn. So I did my PhD when I was already married with a daughter, right?
Wow.
And she was at that time 5 years. And while I was doing my PhD, I had my other daughter. So I actually wrote my thesis when I had a very very small baby at home. Um, and it never stopped my mentors to be very firm in their feedback, and I'm very grateful for that, because there is no way I can compromise the quality of the work I do because there is a baby to tend to, right? I think that attitude is very important. If you let go of that and say, okay, oh, I've got a challenge, so therefore I can lag behind in my work, then that will be shown in your work, in the quality of your work. So I think for me it has been the fact that inherently I have a personality who loves challenges, and I face things very bravely. So it kind of it worked out in an industry like this.
Interesting, Maria. I'm sure this will turn out to be an inspirational story for a lot of people who have interest to explore in the area where they wanted to excel. Amazing, Maria. So before concluding the session, I wanted to ask a couple of rapid fire questions to you. So,
Okay.
any women leader you look up to in the industry?
I think it has to be Sheryl Sandberg. She's
Hmm.
just she is so inspirational because she's there at the top.
Of any particular reason?
So I think, again, so she's broken into an area which is like social media, social networks, in a company which is one of the biggest company in the world, and done what she's done. So I think that is very inspirational. Also, that she has had so many personal challenges in her life, and yet she's up there working alongside men and all other leaders. So that kind of inspires me because there are no boundaries for her. She's
Wow.
just up there, from Google to Facebook, and that's the best in the world, right? So you can only aspire to be like her.
Definitely, Maria, you will be. Okay, next question. You are in product development field, right? So you
Yes.
like a new product development. So definitely, we Mada Over Videos community wanted to ask you this question. According to you, how this product explainer videos are taking shape and how is it helping?
I think it is accepted as an integral part of the product. more so because if you see, the generational shift of how people are consuming content has been, and it has been like earlier from reading text to now a lot of these videos, and also videos for people with attention spans of goldfish, right? You cannot go for 20-minute videos and all of that explaining what your product is. So these explainer videos are short, precise, and very accurate depiction, using audio visual aids, to explain what the value of your product is just a very purified form of communication and very hard to get right, of course. But I think they're extremely effective, and effective in the sense that I don't think these days you can find a product without a product explainer video. So that's how I would put it. It's just very important and the necessity.
Noted, Maria. So the final question, empowerment in India is a challenge or opportunity according to you?
I think if you were to divide India into two kinds of major society, and I'm trying to be cliche here. One is the society where women are so much at a disadvantage that they don't even have the right to study. They don't have the right to step out of their houses. I think for that kind of population, which unfortunately is the major part of our population, it is a huge challenge. I think it will take a lot of time, effort, and a lot of sincere effort from major institutions like the government, the culture, and the society to bring them up to speed. So it's a huge challenge because we are talking about 50% of our population, and we are talking about a huge chunk of our population in that category, right? But for the rest of the population, I think the way women in India, especially, have shaped up, have taken up all the opportunities with the grace that they have. Whether you talk about Indian Army, you talk about Indian women hockey, you talk about tennis, you talk about badminton, sports, government. I think it's a huge opportunity, and this opportunity is only going to grow bigger because we have women who are very clear about what they want to do in their lives, right? So I would say it's both an opportunity as well as, unfortunately, a challenge also for us.
I very much agree with you because it's always like for any human being, it's like Maslow's hierarchy theory. Basic needs
Absolutely.
have to be met before you go for safety and security needs or social needs or your self-esteem and so on. Today, there is a huge chunk of girls in villages who drop their education purely because of lack of access to the sanitary products, for them to continue. As well as in a lot of villages, it's a feeling that if women are studying, they'll not get the perfect match to get marriage, or it will become a liability. People will see them as an attitude person. Someone may not marry them. Unfortunately, that is like as you said, women are doctors and men are engineers. I'll be very happy if even if people say that. Unfortunately, women are like they will start saying you have to go to a different home always. That was the talk a girl child here right from the 3 year old, right? So you need to be like this before, otherwise you will struggle in your in-laws place. So that person don't have an opportunity even to think outside of marriage or a different life. So definitely it needs a lifestyle change and need a lot of infrastructural change. I'm sure people like us will have to create a lot of initiatives for us to pick up women who are aspiring and talented and give them the basic necessity and the environment for them to go and grow and thrive. I'm sure a lot of NGOs, government, as well as leaders like us will be able to bring that change. It was an amazing episode talking to you, Maria. We shared a
Pleasure.
lot of good insights. Once again, thank you on behalf of MOV for us to join in this episode. Thank you, audience, for tuning it to. The same episode is available in all podcast streaming platforms, as well as you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Before catching you up with one other interesting guest, this is India Balasingh signing off. Thank you.